Let us revise what is acids by using a small mind map, right? Mind mapping technique, we know it allows us to understand the things very clearly and put the right things in the right part of our brain, right? Let's do it together. What are acids? So in order to understand this, we will put a few topics in it. What are the few topics? What are acids? What makes a substance as an acid? What are the types of the acids? Then we will study about the physical properties of acid, and then about the chemical properties of the acids, and also the uses of the acids. Now, to understand what makes a substance as an acid, to understand this, we know that every substance which when added to an aqueous solution, that means if you add the substance to the water and if it gives you H plus ions, right? If it gives you H plus ions, then it is classified as an acid, right? And this H plus ion will combine with water and give you hydronium ion, that is acid. The acids can be classified into two types, one as the strong acid and other as the weak acid. And this is on the basis of the strength. If a substance gets dissociated in water, that means most part of the molecules of this is dissociated into H plus ions and some negative ions, so that will be called as the strong acid. And if the dissociation is weak, that means less number of the acids are classified into H plus ion, then it will be termed as a weak acid. Right? Okay. And then on the basis of the nature of the compound, we can classify it as the organic acid. The organic acid is special type of the acid which comes under the carbon compounds, and initial stages we could not synthesize them in the laboratory. It was obtained either from the plants or it was obtained from the animals, right? Okay, but now you can synthesize them in the laboratory and make it in the factories, right? The other type of the acid is called as the mineral acids, and mineral acids are HCl, HNO3, H2SO4, etc. Then you can also classify the acid on the basis of the concentration. And if there is, what is a concentrated acid? An acid which has got lesser amount of percentage of water in it, it will be called as the concentrated acid. And if it has more of water, then it is called as the dilute acid. Okay, so this is the way how we classify the acid on the basis of the strength, on the basis of the nature of the compound, and on the basis of the concentration of the acids. Hope this is clear to you. Then we have to study about how you classify an acid on the basis of pH. If the substance has a pH which is less than 7, 0 to 7, then that substance is called as an acid, right? Okay. Next comes the physical properties of the acids. Now, what are the physical properties of the acids? It is sour in taste. The physical state, it can either exist as the solid or the gaseous state or in the liquid state, but it has to be dissolved in water to make it as an acid. Then we will talk about the effect of the indicator. It turns the blue litmus into red. There is no color change in the phenolphthalein solution. It turns methyl orange into pink, right? These are the effects of the indicators. The indicators will indicate whether this is an acid or a base. Now, if a blue litmus turns red, it is an acid. If there is no change in the color of the phenolphthalein solution, it may be an acid. It's not a sure indication that it is an acid, right? Then, if the methyl orange solution turns into pink, methyl orange, it is orange in color, it turns in pink, or maybe you can say a darkish reddish pink, right? So then it is an acid. Now, talking about the electrical conductivity, the acids conduct electricity. Why do they conduct electricity? Because the moment they are put into water, They split up into the plus ions of hydrogen and the negative ion of whatever the ion it contains, right? So that makes the acids a good conductor of electricity. The chemical properties of the acid we come to it one by one. The common character of the acid, as we all know, it contains the H plus ions and another anion along with it. Now, when the acid reacts with a metal, it will give you metal plus acid will give you salt plus hydrogen in the gaseous form, right? And if a metal carbonate or a metal hydrogen carbonate, it reacts with acid. Let's see what happens. The metal carbonate plus acid will give us salt, water, and carbon dioxide gas will be released, right? Now, what happens when an acid reacts with base? This is called as a special type of the reaction, which is called as the neutralization reaction. Here, acid reacts with base to give you salt plus water, right? Okay. The next one is the reaction of acid with metal oxides. Metal oxides behaves as if they are also the base. So if a metal oxide reacts with acid, it will give us salt and water. It is the same type of the reaction in which the acid reacts with a base. Here also, the acid reacts with base to give you salt and water. In the case of the metal oxide also, it reacts with metal oxide to give you the salt and water. That is the reason why we classify metal oxide as the basic oxides. Okay? Right? Then the most important thing which we are going to study about is about why the acid, where is it used? Right? HCl is used for cleaning purpose and also in the printing industry and many other industries. Then we'll talk about the sulfuric acid, which is H2SO4. It is used for manufacturing fertilizer, paints, dyes, etc. And HNO3, that is the nitric acid, it is used for fertilizer again. It is not written here. Manufacturing of plastics, then drugs, medicines are made out of it, and also some of the explosives. Bomb banane ka bhi kaam aata hai, that is the use of nitric acid. Then we have got our very, very light acid, which is vinegar. It is used for cooking. It is used in pickles and many other things, right? So vinegar is also has got a lot of uses. Now, there are many other more acids also which are used for many purposes, but these are the main uses of the acids, right? Which we use it in the daily life. Okay. So hope you understood this chapter. Go and revise and read it in your book and get prepared for the test.